We built the guillotine and lined up for it. The tech industry is experiencing a grim irony that would make Kafka cackle. Between 2022 and 2024, over 400,000 tech workers lost their jobs globally, according to layoff tracking sites. Many of those ex-employees are now hustling as contractors or founders, building AI tools, chatbots, and automation platforms. The very people displaced by artificial intelligence are now its most industrious servants, constructing the next wave of job-killing software. We are, quite literally, forging the bullets for our own firing squad. The foundation for this mess was laid with the best intentions. Stack Overflow, launched in 2008, became the world's largest repository of programming knowledge, with over 50 million questions and answers. GitHub, acquired by Microsoft in 2018 for $7.5 billion, hosts more than 100 million repositories of open-source code. Developers contributed freely, believing in the democratization of knowledge. What we actually did was create the world's most comprehensive training data set for machine learning models. OpenAI's Codex, GitHub Copilot, and Google's Bard all feasted on this banquet of free labor. We uploaded our collective expertise, annotated it, debugged it, and served it on a silver platter. No heist in history required less effort from the thieves. The numbers tell a brutal story. A 2023 study by researchers at Princeton, New York University, and the University of Pennsylvania found that software engineering ranks among the top 10 professions most exposed to large language model (LLM) disruption. GitHub Copilot, which launched commercially in 2022, now writes an estimated 46% of code in files where it's enabled, according to GitHub's own data. Developers who once spent hours debugging or searching Stack Overflow can now prompt an AI and get working code in seconds. The productivity gain is real, but so is the uncomfortable math. If one engineer can now do the work of two, companies need half as many engineers. Here's where the paradox turns truly surreal. The laid-off engineers aren't disappearing. They're building. Y Combinator's Winter 2024 batch featured dozens of AI startups founded by recently unemployed tech workers. The pattern is everywhere. Ex-Google engineers building AI customer service bots, former Meta developers creating AI content moderation tools, displaced AWS architects designing AI-powered DevOps platforms. We're in a frenzied race to automate every remaining job category, and the people running the race are the ones who just lost their own positions. It's like survivors of a house fire building flamethrowers. This is textbook Stockholm Syndrome, and it's playing out across the entire industry. Stockholm Syndrome, named after a 1973 bank robbery in Sweden, where hostages developed emotional bonds with their captors, describes a psychological response where victims develop positive feelings toward those who harm them. In the tech world, we've formed a perverse attachment to the AI systems and corporations that are systematically dismantling our economic security. We defend them, rationalize their behavior, and most damningly, we actively help them succeed. Laid-off engineers don't organize against the companies that replace them with algorithms. Instead, they internalize the logic of disruption, pivot to building the next automation tool, and convince themselves they're being entrepreneurial rather than complicit. We've bonded with our captors so completely that we're now doing the captors' work voluntarily. The AI doesn't even need to be subtle about it. ChatGPT and Claude don't hide what they're doing. They openly admit to being trained on public code repositories, technical documentation, and forum discussions. When you ask GPT-4 to write a Python script, it's synthesizing patterns from millions of Stack Overflow answers and GitHub repos. The model didn't invent anything. It remixed our collective output, and we keep feeding it. Every time a developer pushes code to a public repo, writes a technical blog post, or answers a question on Reddit, they're contributing to the training data for the next model that will make their skills less valuable. The counter-argument is that AI will create new jobs, just as every previous wave of automation did. But this time feels different. The pace is exponential, not linear. Industrial automation took decades to displace factory workers, giving society time to adjust. AI coding assistants went from science fiction to ubiquitous in under 5 years. And unlike previous disruptions, which primarily affected manual labor, this wave is hitting knowledge workers who were supposed to be safe. The lawyers, accountants, radiologists, and yes, software engineers are all watching AI eat their lunch. The difference is that software engineers are uniquely positioned to accelerate their own demise because we know how to build the tools.